In this lesson, you'll learn how to send results from an HTML form to an email address using Expression Web. To accomplish this, we're also going to include some C# code, as well as some handy ASP.NET controls from your toolbox. Before you begin, you'll want to make sure that you're testing this example on a server that's running the ASP.NET Framework version 3.5, and you'll also want to make sure that your server is configured for mail services. If you're unsure, contact your ISP, web host, or your IT department. To get started, let's take a look at the sample file shown here, sendformstart.aspx. On the page, we have a basic HTML table which includes 4 pieces of information that we're requesting from our user. This table is included inside of a form tag, and shown above the HTML table, we have a basic ASP.NET label control. First, we need to provide our users a way to enter the information that we're requesting. For this, we're going to use some handy ASP.NET controls which you can find in your Toolbox task pane on the right. Go over to your Toolbox task pane and expand the ASP.NET Controls category, and make sure the Standard subcategory is also expanded. Under here, locate the Text Box control. From the toolbox, go ahead and drag a text box control directly to the right of first name. Over on the left, locate the Tag Properties task pane and scroll down to the bottom, and you should see an attribute for ID, which right now reads TextBox1. Replace this with the name txtFname with a capital F. As you see, we'll be able to use this ID to refer back to this form field and its contents later on. Let's keep going by adding a few more form fields. Directly to the right of where it reads last name, add yet another text box. And once again, from the Tag Properties task pane, assign this an ID of txtlname with a capital L. Repeat this for the email address and phone number, assigning them the IDs of txtemail with a capital E and txtphone with a capital P, respectively. The last thing we need to add here to make our form work is a Submit button. And again, under the ASP.NET controls, locate the button control and drag it directly below all of the form fields shown here. Over on the left, go ahead and change the text value so that it reads Send Form and hit Return. Now go to the bottom and switch to your code view. Let's take a look behind the scenes and see the code that's making it all work. If we scroll up to the top, locate a script tag. Inside this script tag, there are several lines of C# code included inside of a single method called btnsendClick. This method is triggered when the user clicks the Submit button you added just a moment ago. We're going to tie these two together in just a moment. The first couple of lines of code build a new string builder object as well as a new mail message. The string builder allows us to build our message piece by piece. The mail message is the actual message, including all the from and to information that we're going to need to have the server know exactly what to do. Below, these lines of code plug additional information into our new mail message. So you want to make sure that you add in your outgoing mail server here. Scroll down just a little bit and you'll see that we're adding information to the fields property of our message. Again, this includes information such as our outgoing mail server, the port information, authentication, and a username and password if your server requires it. You're going to want to change this to coincide with your specific information. Let's switch back to our design view and go ahead and select the Send Form Submit button that you added. We're going to need to tie this to the event handler shown in our C# code just a moment ago. So with the button selected, once again jump back into code view. Inside of the ASP button tag, make some space and add a single attribute called onClick. This should be followed by an equal sign and double quotes, and inside of there, let's add the name of our event handler, which is btnsend_click. Save your file and return back to design view. Now what we're going to want to do is also add some hidden form fields. Hidden form fields don't actually appear within our form, but they allow us to pass information to whatever script is expecting it behind the scenes. In this case, the two things that we want to customize, but we don't necessarily want our user to enter in, are the default subject as well as the recipient email address. And again, this could be your email address or wherever it is that you want these form results to be sent. Switch to code view. Right below your opening form tag, locate an HTML comment that reads Set your recipient info here and hit Return to make some space underneath. And from your ASP.NET controls, drag and place a hidden field. Replace the default ID name with TB2, and after the ID, assign a value attribute. This is going to be the actual value that the form field passes through, and this is where your email address should go. Let's do the same thing right underneath. You'll notice another comment that says set your default subject here. Make some space in the code underneath, and once again drag another hidden field control and release it here. Change the default ID name to TB subject with a capital S. Add a value attribute within the opening tag. Set this value to whatever default subject line you want to read in any messages received. In this case, we're going to type new contact. Switch back to design view. Take a moment to upload your form to your server, and let's go ahead and test this out. And what you should see is if you enter your information as shown here, and send your form, you'll see that a message at the top lets you know that the message has been sent. If you see a message that says error sending email, go back and make sure to check the information you entered for your outgoing mail server, as well as any authentication information. What you'll notice, however, is that the form fields remain on the screen even after the message has been sent. Ideally, this should go away after the message has been successfully sent. To make this happen, we're going to fine-tune our form with a couple of additional ASP.NET controls. Some handy ASP.NET controls we can use to fine-tune the appearance of our page are the multi-view and view controls. These allow us to create multiple views of our page, in other words, toggle different pieces of content on or off based on what's going on inside of our page. So what we're going to do is include our form and all of its elements inside of a new view. From your toolbox, go ahead and drag a single multi-view control and place it underneath. Any views included inside of your page need to be encompassed inside of a single multi-view control. So you can think of this as the container for all other containers. Inside of your multi-view, park your cursor, select and drag a single view control. Each view included in a multi-view can be toggled on and off, either from Expression Web itself or programmatically using code. You can leave the default names shown here. What you need to do now is grab the table that contains all of your form fields, cut it, and paste it inside of View 1. To make sure that your form shows up by default, click on and select the multi-view control right above, and on the left-hand side under Tag Properties, where it reads Active View Index, change the -1 to 0. Now all that's left to do is we need to add one line of code to make sure that this view disappears once the form's been successfully submitted. Switch to your code view, and scroll up to the script block, and right above the try-catch statement, locate the comment that reads change the view to remove the form. Directly underneath this comment, type the following: multi-view1.active-view-index equals -1. Switch back to design view, save your page, and upload your page to your testing server, and let's give it a whirl. Open up your page in a browser off of your testing server, and again here we're going to enter our information. This time when we click the Send Form button, however, not only are we informed that the message was successfully sent, but you'll also see the form disappear from view.